Hello and welcome to this week's reading vlog. It is 9:25 on Easter Monday, aka the 1st of April, aka April Fool's Day. I don't have an April Fool's joke for you, don't worry, I'm rubbish at them. So reading wise, what is the plan for this week? Well, I am not in work this week, and at this moment I don't have any plans during the day, at least for this week. I'm doing my usual mammy visit Wednesday, I think, unless my sister's ill again, and on Friday evening I'm going to see Unfortunate with Katie, so I won't be really doing much reading Friday because I'll be getting ready to go out for tea and then go to the theatre. But because I am off work this week and I don't have plans, I am hoping to get some good reading done this week. I don't know why I clap my hands. So I'm aiming for 3 books completed. Let's see if that happens. But book number 1, which I will be hopefully finishing tomorrow, haven't started yet, finishing tomorrow, is Every Move You Make by C.L. Taylor. In this book, you follow 5 women who have been stalked, and one of them unfortunately passes away, and the other 4 basically want to get ahead of their stalkers, and it sounds like get rid of them once and for all. I got it in hardback, and there was a nice surprise. I haven't actually had a C.L. Taylor book in hardback before. So it's possible that this happens on a lot of her hardbacks. I just don't know. But there's a really nice design on the front of it. So yeah. This is 400 pages long, but the writing is really big, like for a hardback. So I'm hoping it doesn't take me that long to read 400 pages. But I'm not aiming at reading like 200 tonight or 100. If I read 10% tonight, I'll be a happy bunny, and then I can just finish it tomorrow. Because C.L. Taylor is an author for me, and I love her work. And she is normally a quick read. I say normally, the way my reading's been. If you know, you know. And then that's all I have. That's the only book I know I'm going to read this week, and the rest I'm not sure. But if you have seen my April TBR video, if I read 3 books this week, I hopefully will have 3 parts of The Empire of the Damned read. But if I have at least 2 sections of this read, I'll be happy, because that's like a third of the book read. But again, let's see. So hopefully the next clip of me will be tomorrow saying I finished, or hopefully give you an update at 50%, but this is me, I'll probably forget and just update you at the end. And then the clip after that will be me saying I finished my first part of 6 of Empire of the Damned. But again, let's see what happens. And yes, anything else? Oh yes, I went and did a bit of a splurge today in books. Went out for one. Bought 5. Oh well. All books that I wanted, so that's the one good thing. But I'm going to stop blathering and go get ready for bed and then start this. So I will see you in the morrow sometime, hopefully. Hello, it's lunchtime Tuesday. I am 60% the way through Every Move You Make. I have assumptions. So we've obviously met our 4 main characters. We have met our side characters. We have met all of the suspected stalkers, I will say. There has been some revelations. There has been some little twists. I have thoughts. I am saying this now. I am convinced that one of our 5 main characters is one of the group's stalkers, like they're stalking the other person. I also think that majority of the stalkers, bar one, is that they're not stalkers, that there's more there. We know there's more there with a couple of them, but there's more there that actually they're just in their stalking, I will say. And Also, that relationship, Lucy's, I'll say, it's being made out to be a little bit bigger than it is. Don't get me wrong, it's a bad relationship the way it started. And the relationship. But her reason for not going to the police, I'm like, really? You could have had all this sorted with and they won't be bothering you. But, you know. And I also think one of the side characters who's good is one of the stalkers as well. So yeah, definitely we'll probably have this finished, I'm going to say by 2 o'clock today. Because I'm just flying through it, so that'll be good. At the moment, what would I give it? 3.5 stars. It's not a 3, but it's not a 4 yet. Something I think needs to happen for it to get that far, obviously. But yeah, let's see what happens. So I will update you when I finish. Hello, it is 1:45 Monday. I have finished every movie make. I finished about 20 minutes ago. I gave it 4 stars. My assumptions about 2 of the stalkers were possibly incorrect. One was correct, the other one is very much written like it was correct. There's just something with that particular part that makes me think it shouldn't have been a yes, she is a stalker. It should have been a actually she might have been a little bit right about this guy. Not about all of it, but a little bit right. Didn't see the twist coming with who that person was. When it was revealed in the connection with that main character, I was like, oh, okay, right, that's why I thought that, right, got it. Really, really gripping story that did have me a bit anxious at times, not in a bad way, more of a, oh, okay, I actually feel worried about this character rather than a, oh, come on, I know this character's going to survive. Just a quick note on the note at the end from Callie. I feel really proud of her for feeling comfortable enough to reveal that. And it makes a connection with one of the main characters more understandable as to like how she feels and stuff, because if you read this book and read the note, you'll get what I mean. But book 10 done, which so now that is read, I do have time today to start the book, and I'm going to be starting my month-long book. Now, if you have seen my TBR video, you will know what this is. If not, welcome to Empire of the Damned, the sequel to Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This book is 646 pages long. So because I have 6 books on my TBR already, I was going to say crime books, not all of them are crime, but because I have 6 books on my TBR already, so I don't get bogged down with all the crime, I split this into 6. So as I finish one of the other books, I read a 6th of this, which means today's segment is 9 pages long, I should say. So I can do that I can knock that out, let's be honest, today. So I'm in no rush to start this straight away. So I'm going to do some pottering around the house, answer the couple of YouTube comments I've got from my March TBR, March vlog, and then possibly read, possibly do something else, but I will start this today. If you don't know what Empire of the Vampire is, you are following Gabriel de Leon, one of the last Silver Saints on the planet, where vampires rule, and there are very, very, very few humans around, and he is telling his story to a vampire. So in the first book, he was looking for the Holy Grail because it was seen as humanity's last hope. this book follows on from that, so I can't say much else without spoiling it. But yeah, looking forward to reading this one. And now I split into 6. I'm not as daunted about going into it and going, oh my god, I have to fit like 600 something pages in a week. It's more of a, I only have 100 pages to read, doable. So yeah, so I'll stop blathering and update you when I have read my 109 pages. Hello, Wednesday evening update on the reading. I have read my 6th of Empire of the Damned. You know, we had a nice little character rundown at the beginning with an explanation of kind of what had happened to them in the first book and where we left them, and then straight back in the action, not gonna lie. One thing I didn't like about the first book was that it was so slow in the beginning, and there were places where it felt a bit info dumped, if I remember my review correctly. We have a little bit of info dumping, but the info dumping is kind of needed a tiny bit. Now we kind of know about these different fractures that we didn't know about, and we're starting to see their views on the Grail. We need a little bit more information probably. We don't need too much. There is the Blake. There is the cloud still around the mast figure, knowing a bit more about them, seeing how that develops. At this point, Gabriel has run into an old friend, I'll say, who he hasn't told anything about what happened at the monastery, and they were heading that way, and they're not quite sure why Gabriel's not heading that way. Slight spoiler, although not really a spoiler. So yeah, no rating at this moment in time. But I very quickly realised that this is high fantasy in my opinion, and I can't read 108 pages in an hour. So it has taken me about 90 minutes to read 108 pages, which makes sense now I think about it. So now I've read that, I can read one of the books that are on there. Yeah, the top 5 is my TBR for this month. Do I know what I'm going to start? No, I'm going to start tonight. No, because it is 9:30 and your girl is tired. Don't ask me what I did there. I have no idea, apart from reading 108 pages. But I'm tired. Woke up with a nosebleed. Always good. So I have felt a little bit drained. And yeah, so I'm putting that down to why I haven't read anything else today, but the real reason is because I have no idea what I did my time, apart from doing about 17 loads of washing. It seems like wasn't that much, but that's what it felt like. So yeah, so I will update you tomorrow with what I start. Due to a change in plans, I haven't got tomorrow free, but that's because my plans for tonight didn't work out. So I'll be busy in the afternoon. So yeah, I don't know how long I'll be busy for in the afternoon, but it means I don't have the full day to read. But yeah, but hopefully it will get at least half a book read tomorrow, and then can finish that Friday before I go see Unfortunate with Katie. And then this weekend there is no D&D, so I have all weekend to read a second bit, hopefully, and hopefully finish a third book. But let's see. So yeah, I'll update you tomorrow. Hello, Friday morning, it's 8 o'clock. I didn't update it yesterday because I started this book quite late and didn't go to bed till 11:30. And when I say I started late, I mean 10 o'clock. I started Girl Zero by A.A. Dand. This is book 2 in the Detective Inspector Harriet Wordy series. I did mispronounce it in my TBR video, and I did mispronounce the title of the series name thing wrong in my TBR video, and that I do apologise. It is Wordy, not Verdi. So like I said, book 2, you can read these as standalones, which is great. In this book you follow Harry as he goes to a crime scene in the first chapter, and it turns out the victim is his niece, and he is taken off the case officially, obviously works it behind the scenes. He's very grey detective, especially when you realise that his niece, his brother, is actually one of the biggest crime lords in Bradford. Well, drug gang things. Yeah, so it's a race against time to see who will actually find out who did this to his niece, the police, or Harry and his brother Ron, or will Ron be able to get the justice he deserves. I loved the first book, and this book is set all around Bradford. This whole series is set in Bradford. So yeah, I love the first book. The second book is just as good. Like I said, started it at 10 o'clock last night. I read 211 pages in an hour and a half. Obviously no sprint, just generally just read. And I would have stayed up reading this to finish it in one go if I wasn't so tired. And I actually think that's why I've woken up so early today. I say it's 8 o'clock, I woke up at 7:30. My alarm's not set till 9:30 because I have a show tonight in the theatre that I'm going to see that I'm performing. But I generally woke up and in my head I was like, ooh, I can get a head start on that book again. So yes, I will definitely be finishing this morning. Actually, as soon as I finish this clip, I'm going back to reading. So yeah, we'll most likely be coming to you about 10 o'clock-ish to say finished, give my rating, and then what I'll read next. But even though I think this book will just set me straight on the thriller, crime, mystery path, I will read my section of Empire of the Damned. Even though it will take me longer, but I'll get that read and then start something else. But yeah, at the moment a 5-star. At the moment a 5-star, and if I wasn't going to see Stray Kids for my birthday and that's where all my money was going, I would totally going out to buy the rest of this series. But yeah, so I'll update you in a couple of hours. Hello, 9:30, just finished Girl Zero. Still a 5-star read. Still a 5-star read. I actually didn't see that ending with the characters, like the way it wrapped up, and the twist of the boss, I'll say. So yeah, but I love Dan's work. I actually looked on Goodreads. For some reason I thought he'd released more of this series, but the last book was released in 2018 or 2019. So I only have 2 more books to go and I've caught up with the series, which is good. Not my plan for this year, but who knows. But yeah, I just love Dan's writing. I love the fact it's set somewhere where they mention somewhere and I know exactly where they're on about. Like a couple like they've mentioned a few estates where I've lived. They've mentioned streets that I literally was on as a kid, like every day, because I had school on there, or it was on my way to work. And it'll mention things like his like events that have happened, and I'm just like, yeah, I actually know that. So yeah, book 11 of the 8 done. I am going to read my portion of Empire of the Damned. But I'm going to have breakfast first, because I'm going to that portion will probably take me about 2 or 3 hours, just because how slow I read that fantasy. So if I start at like 10ish, and then I'll have that done by 12, and then I have time to get ready for tonight. Not leaving until 5, so I do potentially have time to start the book today. But am I gonna, let's see. But yeah, so I'm gonna go off, get breakfast, read my portion of Empire of the Damned, and then I'll be back with you to update you on that. And sorry for the lopsidedness, I just realised you're actually balanced on my duvet, which is very bumpy. Hello, Saturday morning. Just realised never updated you on Empire of the Damned. Had to think then. I read my portion for yesterday, so I am now 28% of the way through this book. So chugging along nicely. So current thoughts, enjoying it. Read that second portion a lot quicker than I read the first portion. The first portion did take me like 2 hours to read 100 pages. Yesterday I put some sprints on thinking it'll take me a couple of hours. By the end of a 45-minute sprint, I was at page 75 of yesterday's portion. if that makes sense. So reading it a little bit quicker, will that carry on? Probably not. So I will, going forward, as I read this, still just allocate 2 to 3 hours for each portion as I get to it. We've not had a twist, but we've had something change, which is a little bit surprising. We've had a little bit more information come through, and there's still a lot to be uncovered. There's something niggling in the back of my mind that is making me think not that I know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen that shouldn't happen. Or that, like, yeah, like, I'm not making any sense, but I'm not just in this book, but for this series, that something is going to happen that shouldn't happen. I don't want to say too much without spoiling. Well, what I kind of can say is, if you're reading this, possible spoiler, so I'll put my little thing up there. We're constantly being told that Gabriel has lost the Grail, and that's kind of why he's recounting this story to Jean-Francois? Is it Jean-Francois? Well, he's retelling this tale to Jean-Francois for his mistress, but also it's because they want to know the story of how he lost the Grail. And something's niggling in my mind that that's not gonna be quite true. Yeah. And I've kind of just got to a bit where he's being betrayed. And there's something in my head going, that's not going to be the case. And if it is the case, then not surprising, because J. Kristoff doesn't do happy endings. But if it is the case, it's also a bit of a seen it. But yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but hopefully that makes sense. So hopefully I'll actually be reading the third part of this today, because my plan is for today to start and finish The Half-Burnt House by Alex North. So this book, you follow Katie Short, who left her brother alone for an afternoon, and he was attacked, and it's been years since this book. And then Katie gets called from the police investigating the murder, and they think that Chris is the prime suspect. They want they want Katie's help to find her brother. She just wants to basically help find evidence to prove that he's innocent. The reason I say I want to start and finish it is because this book is 370 pages long, so it shouldn't take me that long, and I don't have that much planned today. So I'm going to chuck on some sprints. I'm going to chuck on a 40-minute timer on my phone and see how much I can read during that 40 minutes. Then get dressed, go do my shopping for next week, because I'm back at work. Only a 4-day week though, we are closed on Wednesday, so yeah. So I need to go pick up my food for that, and then come back and finish, and then read the third part of Empire of the Vampire. Yeah. Do I have any other plans to start any of the books today? No. Gonna make my TBR live for this month though, so you'll hopefully have that today, and then we'll have it watched before this comes up. And then tomorrow, no D&D, like I've said, so hopefully start and finish another book and get the fourth portion of Empire of the Damned read, and then potentially film my wrap up for January, February and March. But let us see, because of course I will have to get stuff ready for work as well. But yeah, so I will update you when I read my 40 minutes of The Half-Burnt House, and then let you know my thoughts at that time. Hello, Saturday evening. Still reading The Half-Burnt House. We'll definitely have it finished tonight. Just won't be reading my section of Empire of the Damned because it's 7:45. So like I said, currently reading The Half-Burnt House still. I'm 57% of the way through. I think I know how these characters are connected. So obviously when I read the synopsis, it also mentioned the character of Kate and her trying to find evidence that her brother is innocent of a murder. Her brother is Chris. Now, we follow Kate. We also follow Officer Leland, who is in charge of the murder investigation that Chris is the prime suspect for, but also was there when Chris was injured as a younger child. Yeah. We have a couple of chapters with Chris, and then we have some chapters with Leland, who is a randomer. The Officer Leland's actually Officer Lawrence. Names. And then we have someone called Hobbs that we follow a little bit as well. So each chapter you kind of move. And they've all kind of got different stories. Well, like Lawrence and Kate and Chris are all kind of connected. But Chris is also connected to Leland and Hobbs somehow. But then these two have a different story going on as well. So you've got all these 5 that have kind of like different stories, but I think reading between the lines, I can see how they're all connected. Unless it's going to be a massive twist now, like, what the hell? And then we also have, in Kate's story, which I think's kind of important, kind of not, her husband Sam and her daughter Sienna. And Sam just seems like an absentee father and husband who don't give a crap about anything apart from money. But Sienna's making comments about seeing a car and always seeing Moon and saying hi to Moon, which I think is going to come back as well. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, I think I know how they're all connected, apart from two storylines, how they're connected to the others, but I think I'm getting there. It's a good read at the moment. It is a week 4, I will say. Just because if my thoughts are correct, maybe the clues were laid out a little too openly, I will say. Unless I'm getting taken down this road that has a massive corner and turn and twist. And then this week 4 becomes possibly strong 4, maybe 5. But let's see. So, I'm going to go put some more sprints on. I'm actually... what I like about rewatching sprints, I'm reusing Becca from Becca in the Books Realmathon reading sprints. And she has her time that you read, then she has 5 minutes in between, which I kind of like because I'm kind of putting this book down, catching up on friends' chats with family chat and stuff, and then going back to reading because I now have that time. So I think I will maybe, I think I will probably reuse these sprints again. So yeah, next update will be me saying I finished, giving a final rating, and then I will read my section of Empire of the Damned, this one, tomorrow morning most likely, because I'll probably want to go to bed. And then there are more sprints tomorrow at 12, Becca Fowles' channel. So that is what I will read tomorrow use tomorrow to get another book potentially started and finished. But let's see. So, like I said, I'll stop waffling. See you in a bit when I've finished. 10 to 9 Saturday, just finished The Half-Burnt House. It's a 3-star. Majority of the storylines were wrapped up. We had answers. There was a couple that were left unanswered. There was no answer, and with some of the characters I was like, I don't see the reason for you. And actually, a couple of the plot points, there was no answer, or resolution as people would say, and I actually think I don't get where you fit in with this narrative in this book. and one in particular with the husband and the child. I don't get, there's no answer as to why that happened. There's no answer. I know Kate, I think called her Kate, Kate is blamed for this particular thing, but there's nothing for why. There's no why this character is blamed. There's nothing. Which I don't get. But the things that did get wrapped up are resolved. I did see coming. Like I said, I saw the clues and it was very obvious. Yeah, 3 stars. It kept me gripped. It was a fast-paced book. The writing wasn't terrible. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. So yeah, 3 stars. Will I read more from Alex North? Potentially not. I haven't seen their book. I don't even know if it's a male or a female. Let's see, he's actually a local writer. He's a Leeds boy. I didn't know that. But yeah, would I read more? Potentially, if I see it in a charity shop or if it's in like half price sale. But let's be honest, I have so many books on my to be bought list. If he does get on there, it will be not as a priority. But book 12 done. I'm catching up. Only 8 more books to go by the end of this month, and I will be where I'm meant to be for my 60 books. Yeah, not aiming for that though. So like I said earlier, I'm not going to read my passage for Empire of the Damned. As you can tell by the cut, I'm a bit tired, so I'm going to go watch some Cash Stuffing videos, get ready for bed, fall asleep, and then in the morning I will start Empire of the Damned, and then I don't know what book I will start and potentially finish tomorrow. Although that's potentially a lie, potentially I do. I don't know. But I will update you in the morrow with my thoughts on the next section of Empire of the Damned and what book I will be starting and hopefully finishing. Hello, Sunday afternoon. It is, move, 1:30. Welcome up to 1:30. I have read my 3rd section of Empire of the Damned. I'm now 43% of the way through this book, which is so making me want to continue reading, like today, and not start my next book. But I'm sticking to my sections, so I read a section after I finish a book, so I don't feel like there. Because it is still taking me about 80 minutes to read 100 pages. But that's fine. Slow and steady wins the race. So the part I've just read, I have thoughts. My thoughts from earlier are still kind of there. I just think my thoughts for the overall story of this series or trilogy may be slightly incorrect because of what's happened at the end of that section. If you know, you know. All I'm going to say is brother and sister and Dior, and a moth. If you want spoilers, message me, I'll spoil it for you. But yeah, but it's made, like I said, it's made me really want to just continue reading this book, and I probably could get the second half read of this today. And I am having to convince myself not to. Because while 100 pages in 80 minutes isn't that long, that's actually a nice steady pace to reading. For me, after I read for 40 minutes, especially what I class as a high fantasy, I have to have a break of about 10 to 15 minutes because my eyes just slowly start wandering. I find myself kind of almost rereading passages. So I have a break, then I come back to it, hence why again I thought I'd break it down. So yeah. So I'm not going to continue with that yet, is the plan. I'm going to start my 4th book of the week and hopefully finish this 4th book, although technically 5th book, but we'll go with 4th because I can finish it. and that is The Silence by Katarina Diamond. Katarina is an author I don't really talk a lot about on this channel, I feel, because I feel like I read a lot of her works before I started my booktube channel, and she's not really had too many releases over the past couple of years where I've felt the need to, I don't know where I'm going with that. Like, she's had a few releases, but not that many. And this is when someone goes, Michelle, you've missed like loads of releases. But reading the front of the book, and obviously where you have your list of what the author's written, which won't be in this one much. I know it is. Yeah, I have read all of Katarina's other works, and I was just in I was there with my friend, saw it, and was like, ooh, got it. So yeah, in this book you follow a lady called Gail who wakes up one night where she can't move, can't speak, and there is a randomer standing over her. She goes to the police don't believe her. Surprise, surprise. It's been 2 years, and then after 2 years she meets a woman who had the same thing happen to her a year after Gail. And there's now another week until he will strike again. So I'm guessing we're going to be following Gail as she tries to find this randomer. This is about, I want to say 360. Yeah, it's 360 pages long, so I can get this finished today. I'm not going to say I'm going to have it finished by a certain time, but I can have this finished today. Especially because Katarina is very much like C.L. Taylor, Shari LaPena, Bad Minds Gone Blank, Kara Hunter, Steve Cavanagh. They're crime and thriller authors where I know once I get sucked in, and I just breeze through the books. So hopefully I will come back to you later saying I finish and have time to read more of Empire of the Damned, because my thinking is if I can get this finished in between getting tea on, having tea, like finish at about 7ish, I'll then have an hour to like decompress, get lunch ready for tomorrow, and then read Empire of the Damned before I fall asleep. Is that a good plan before I go back to work tomorrow? Possibly not, but let's see. So yeah, I will update you later when I have hopefully finished The Silence. Hello, it is 4:05. I've just finished The Silence. 10 minutes to go till my tea's ready, so which is really good. So yeah, like I said, just finished it. 4 stars. Will say right at the back, obviously, when you read the synopsis at the back, you know you're going to get a hard-hitting story. I didn't expect that many potential triggers for people. You don't just have the essay, you have PDF, as someone has called it on here that I watched a video of. You have IC or INC. You have a lot, let's just say, and I was gripped from the first page. I will say I guessed straight away who the attacker was. Within 10 chapters, I knew who this guy was. Once all the characters had been, all the plays I'll say had been laid bare, it was very obvious in my opinion, and it's something that I've seen a lot of people, well, I've seen some people saying on Goodreads as well. But it was written so well. The emotions you feel reading this story, you go from anger to sad to injustice to justice. It's a bit of a roller coaster. I will also say that I didn't like that ending. It felt very abrupt, and and I kind of wanted a bit more. I wanted something more. So yeah, I can't give it 5 stars because I feel it didn't end that well. But it's another Katarina Diamond book that I enjoyed. So book 13 of the year done. So I will read my next section of Empire of the Damned tonight. Like I said, won't be anytime soon because tea is nearly ready. But shouldn't be when I'm getting ready for bed either, which is good. So I will update you when I've read that and then give my overall thoughts for the week. Hello, it's about 10 to 7. Just a quick update on Empire of the Damned. I haven't read my next section. I decided that I am going to save the next half of this book for next week. Because I've already read nearly 500 pages today. And I don't need to push myself to read more than that. So that's this week done. Safe to say, good reading week. 4.5 books read. A variety of star ratings. So yeah, a good week. This actually matches the most amount of books I've already read. I read in 1 month this year already, which is February, which was 4 books. So safe to say I'll probably beat that. I'm now 13 books into my Goodreads challenge, so 2 books behind, which I will hopefully get to by the end of next week. Like, I'll be back on track. But yeah, that was my week off work. I'm now going to go finish getting lunch ready for work and make my bed, because even though you can see pillows, these are the old last week, so yeah, I need to change that. And then go to sleep. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.